We're back. All right. Week 3 of the football season, Mac. As I said in the beginning here, welcome everybody back. It's great to be back. South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. It doesn't get any better than this. As the season begins, the weather starts to cool down. I hope you had a good summer.
I had a great summer. It's exciting. Football seems to happen earlier and earlier every year. I got a new team to root for.
Yeah,
we'll talk about some of that. Got a friend of mine. It's the new helm. So it's interesting how many teams I started adding to my list of that I'm now rooting for.
Yeah, now you got a lot of affiliates.
Former coach, son of one team, this, so it's fun. But can't get to every game, but going to high school games are awesome. And great time of year. It's I think it's still a little on the hot side, but
Well, it has cooled down a little bit. It could be much worse. We've had worse beginnings to the season temperature-wise. But honestly, let's be honest. Every year, 7 p.m. on Wednesday night holds a special place in my heart and yours as well. I know a lot of people have been asking, is the show coming back? Where's the show? We appreciate everyone. We're just looking forward to getting it going, man. But you never realize until you wait till after that first week how many people watch the show.
Look, you got to want them hungry for the show.
Yeah,
you
got to
get too much.
Got to get a thirst for it.
I got to ask, is this an homage to the Pennsauken world of Vince Mac with the blue knit tie and the blue button-down collared shirt? I mean, besides forgive the hair.
Yeah, forgive the hair. It is an homage to your father. Because I made a reference to your father the other day on the golf course at Pennsauken to a couple of guys who were hitting off the closest tees, and they remembered him, and they had nothing but good things to say about him.
The knit tie that I have that I wore in 16 was his same knit tie that he wore in the 50s, came back in the 60s, 70s. It just keeps – it's the same knit tie. Not the same, but –
it never goes out of style.
Still a knit tie. You look great, Trip.
Thanks, Mac. You look great as well, as always, man. I'm still jealous of the hair. We have a great show ahead today. We're going to look at everything that's happened last week. We're going to talk about a couple big matchups, including one huge matchup this weekend in South Jersey. We also have our Knots of the Week, and we have our best 11 rankings, I guess is what we call them. I want to thank the Coaches Association of West Jersey for sponsoring the show this year. I also want to thank our buddy Dave O'Sullivan, the founder of South Jersey Glory Days, where you're watching this if you're on Facebook. Sully's the reason we have this platform for you to watch the show week in, week out, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. right here. Visit his website, sjglorydays.com, for all local high school coverage. So, Mac, even though this is our first week, I've seen a lot of football so far. I was at Battle at the Beach, of course, Battle at the Beach at Rowan. The last 2 days there was a great event, a lot of great action. But where I was last Friday night was Farnham Park, a place you've been many, many times.
Without the turf when I was there.
Yeah, a little less turf when you were there, but man, I'm gonna tell you, this game turned out to be dandy, really. Camden forces 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter, including a critical forced fumble by Halim Muhammad, who got the hat for his actions in the game. Strips the ball right after a turnover on downs by about half an inch. They go in and score on Jathan Candelario's 1-yard streak, and they sneak, and they give Coach Rob Hinson win number 150. Congratulations, Coach. 26-21 the high, moves to 2-0. Kingsway did a lot of great things. I love what I saw from their quarterback, David Orovets, and also Nick to Cole, I think it is, or Cole to Nick. I'm sorry I got that mixed up, but let me tell you, man, Kingsway, good team, solid team, had it right there in their hands. Camden comes from behind late, little Farnham Park magic.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kingsway, another team that I have
another affiliate of the MAC umbrella.
Coach Hendricks, he's been there, my gosh, I think now he's 10th year maybe.
Yeah.
Been there since the 16th season, so 2016. He's won a sectional title, maybe 2. I mean, he might have a couple under his belt right now, but every year they show up ready to play. And the tough place to play is, we used to say, you come out of Farnham Park with a win.
Yeah.
It don't matter what the number is, but he just because you said Camden High got the opportune strips, got the opportune turnovers. Turnovers are killers. And I know Henny and his crew is saying, we got to take care of the football. But you know what? That Coach Hinson preaches that. I mean, that's what dude. Let's get after the football. Let's make things difficult. Put the pressure on the team. You got to play 48 minutes, and Camden High did that. They played 48 minutes and took care of business on their home turf, literally.
Yeah, Mac. I mean,
look, when you show up early in the season, there's going to be some blunders, some mistakes, and things like that. It's at that point, who's going to make, I guess, the least amount, right?
that's usually what it comes down to. I think if you look at the game last Thursday night, the Birds game, I mean, they didn't make a turnover, and Dallas did, and that was the difference in the game. So what do you say early in the season before a guy's really been popped? You've had scrimmages, all that stuff, Mac. What are you saying to, hey, guys?
Well, it's interesting. I've met with training staff folks and other folks. I've seen some tweaks, some injuries, close up, from afar, whether it be the soft tissue stuff or shoulders or what have you. I mean, the analogy I said to the guy the other day, I said, look, football is a sport where you're getting hit by a truck. Back in the day at practice, we'd practice where the kids were not acting like, but it was designed that you were getting hit by a car.
Right.
Well, now in practice, you're getting hit by a bike.
Right.
And the sport still requires you to get hit by a truck on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night.
Yeah.
So it takes a while, and you see it in the NFL, and then why wouldn't you see it in the high school? Because quite frankly, the NFL is full of guys who play football professionally, obviously. Sure. High school football is not that.
No, not quite.
Yeah, most kids, as we talk about, won't even play in college, let alone on Sundays.
Right.
So, to your point, the getting used to, getting ready for, the more you can simulate game. I mean, we used to have 3 scrimmages. And one of them, it was the one scrimmage used to be a Donnybrook, if that's still a word we can use.
You can still use that word on this show.
Yeah. And if my dad and Jimmy Gallagher were sitting here, they would tell you their first scrimmage of the year, Sterling Pennsauken, used to last 4 hours.
Yeah.
And so we now you went from 3 scrimmages, you had 2, and the 2 even in the second one is kind of like a game condition half.
Yeah.
Whether they're ready. Football's ugly early, but everybody's on the same calendar, so you have to limit the mistakes. You keep it simple, stupid, as they say, and control the football. It sounds like I'm talking in December too.
It does, and it applies across the season. I'll tell you one thing after that game, in talking to Coach Hinson after that landmark victory for him and the milestone for his career, he said, I was a little bit disappointed in seeing some of the cramps, some of our guys on a state championship relay team. I had a feeling they were going to run some relays this week in practice to make sure there's no cramping.
I get what Hintz is saying, but here's the thing. And people said that to me, it's not that cold out.
Well, that's when it's the worst.
But it's not so much the worst. It's what you're asking your body to do in the time period. And Bobby, he's getting mad at me for saying this, but nobody's practicing to the level of intensity that a game is. You can never duplicate a game. Now we're not close to a game.
Right.
As we used to be closer. We never could get there. You're never in that game feel into the game, whether the intensity level, the what you're doing to your body, the stop start, etc. So it's not surprising to see even the most conditioned kids go down with cramps. It's hydration and all the things you got to do to take care of your body. It's important. Yes. But you're asking your body to do something it really hasn't done in a year.
Yeah.
Or 9 months.
Yeah, that is tough. And we see it every year at the beginning of the season with the cramping and the injuries and all that stuff. And hopefully everybody is moving through the first couple weeks here relatively healthy. We want all of our young athletes out there, everybody, making it happen. Yeah.
Sled work.
Yeah, a little sled work.
Get on the sled.
Get on the sled. I was wondering that if I should get on the sled, Mac. Probably not at this point. We have...
Depends how angry you want to get.
I
sled work makes you angry. you want to make angry football players, get on the sled.
Yeah, I don't want to be angry. I want to be happy, and so I want to stay away from the sled. It might be a good idea.
Happy guy, Rod. Happy guy.
Mac, I'll say this, man. I think tonight, one interesting piece of tonight's show is talking about the game that may end up being the game of the year in terms of New Jersey. Obviously, we have Bergen Catholic coming to Winslow Township. I don't think it's anybody's secret that would be the game of the week, so sorry to spoil the surprise. We'll get there, but very exciting week in South Jersey football that North Jersey powerhouse, Bergen Catholic, is coming down here for a game. One of the most anticipated games recently in terms of matchup outside of the ones at Battle of the Beach, where we've had some national matchups. We had Bergen win a great game there this year, but I think it's pretty cool that we're going to have that crossover there with two of the best teams in the state.
Double crossover, right? You got North versus South, and you got parochial versus public.
Yeah.
And, it's at Winslow. I'm glad it's, being a South Jersey guy, I'm glad that Bergen's got a truck down here to play at Winslow, and it's I know Coach is going to have Belton's going to have they're going to be ready, no doubt.
Yeah.
So Bergen better be prepared for some South Jersey football.
Yeah.
But it's a neat situation that you see some of these. This is a national game right in our backyard.
That's right.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. I want to give a shout out to Chris Baker here in the chat on Facebook. Chris, thank you for all you've done. As everybody knows by now, if you've watched the show before, Chris helps supply a lot of the background information that goes into the show. And also, Chris and Kevin Emmons have By the Numbers, a show with Rod on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on the D2 Sports Network. Shout out to them. Be sure you're tuned in on Tuesday night. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about all the action that happened last week. We've got a special segment for our Knots of the Week. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. With a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, the West Jersey Football Coaches Association. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports, event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety, injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations, American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone's here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com. Welcome back to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. Mark Trouble, joined by Coach Tim McEnany here at Studio B. And we got a comment from Max the Goat in the YouTube chat. And he says, I want you to talk about Eastern and Ocean City. And I'm glad you said that, Max, because I want to talk about that game as well. Thursday night, it was a big one at Eastern. Big win for the Vikings, 19-13 over Ocean City in overtime. Wide receiver and defensive back Terry Cook, pick six, passing touchdown. The Vikings sealed the win in overtime with a fumble recovery in the red zone. Big win for Coach Bolin and company at Eastern. All right. Cinnamonson 3, Salem 0. Aidenburg 35-yard field goal is all they needed for the Pirates, who are 1-1 after 2 Rams to start the season. They lost to Overbrook in the opener, and then they beat Salem on Thursday night. Riverside 50, Florence 0. Terrence Barnes had quite a game. 14 carries, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, a receiving touchdown. I think he may have also run a kickback for score. Del Rand, 2-0 to start the season, 28-0 over Ewing. Vinny Sacca had a great season so far. He's a guy you really want to watch if you're looking at the quarterback position in South Jersey. 9 for 15, 170, 2 touchdowns through the air, 2 on the ground. I was very impressed with him when I saw him play at Battle at the Beach. Justin Mary Jr., pretty good target, 4 receptions, 138, 2 touchdowns. Cherokee and Lenape, a game Mac used to coach in, and Mac, 42-21, the Chiefs took care of business against the Tribe. Brandon Markovsky, 19 carries, 233 yards, 4 touchdowns. Cooper Birdie, 2 rush touchdowns. And not only that, he's had himself a heck of a week. He just committed to Tennessee to play baseball.
Big time, SEC.
Big time.
Well, we forgot Cole Danick. He just committed to play Rutgers big time.
That's right, lacrosse.
Yeah, stud player there too.
We will not forget that name. We will not get that wrong again, Cole. I hope you realize we haven't hit the sleds yet. Speaking of Lenape, I want to give a shout-out to their alumnus, Jalen Mims. Just earned the starting quarterback job at King's College.
Wow, that's awesome.
So congratulations,
Great
my
kid.
man.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to coach him, but I saw him play many times.
Yeah. Gateway 33, Haddon Township 14. Aiden Barbado, here's a guy with a player of the week type of line. 19 carries, 259, 2 touchdowns. And Mac, we always say when you got a guy with a line like that, he had 19 carries. He probably could have had.
Well, my next question was, why didn't he have 22?
That's what you usually say. How about 25? How about 28?
But the field, the other side is, we used to say to somebody, the field's only 100 yards long. And once you're in, you're in. You don't get extra yards for running to the end of it. Yeah,
maybe he didn't play in the fourth quarter. We don't know. Buna 30, Lindenwold 6, Bridgeton 43, Clearview 0, Vassell McCoy 11 carries, 111 yards and a touchdown. Clayton beats Mastery on a forfeit. Friday, you got Triton 43 over Middle Township 14. Jaden Menk, 2 rush touchdowns for the Stangs. Cumberland beats Shalleck in a rivalry clash 14-7. Isaac Prophet, Mackay Davis each run for a touchdown for the Colts. Collingswood 27, Overbrook 14. John Antrilli throws for 2 touchdowns. Caden Luby runs for a touchdown. Terrence Goffney, kick return for score. RV survives Pleasantville. This one opened some eyes. The score was tight throughout. Savion Adams, Jameer Bellamy each run for a touchdown. Michael Beasley, David Agansola each with 2 sacks for the Red Devils. These are kind of the usual customers. I think if you watch the show or you listen to the show or you pay attention through the year, I think you're going to be hearing a lot of Savion Adams, Jameer Bellamy, Michael Beasley.
Max likes Savion. Mac likes Savion Adams.
David Agansola.
Likes that dude.
Yeah.
Can do some things. RV's they're I don't, you say surprising. Pleasantville's going to have a good year too. I think, they showed up as if they only held RV to 20. So we'll see. We'll see what the season has for both.
You got Sterling 48, Pittman 13. Big win for the Silver Knights. Burlington Township, a team that went up to North Jersey and beat PCTI in the opener, which is a traditional Group 5 power up there, really handled them. They beat them 40-6. They beat Nottingham last week 40-7. Bryce Carter, these are pretty good numbers. 3 for 3, 112 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's what we call efficiency.
Yeah.
Aiden Binns runs for 2 touchdowns. Gerald Sackey caught 2 of those touchdowns. He had 2 receptions, 112 yards. So one of Bryce Carter's completions must have been for 0 yards.
That's what I mean. I was going to say.
They really brought his average down.
We could have I wouldn't have thrown the third one, but we could have a typo. I don't know.
Tackled the line of scrimmage. Timber Creek 37, Notre Dame 6. Tyrone Baker 12-19, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran for a score. Another big one here, a team we want to talk about. I know we got some viewers down there in this area. We're not just talking about Battle at the Beach. We're not just talking about getting a couple Rays down at the shore. We're talking about Atlantic City, 26, Millville 21. Nice. AC scores 13 unanswered in the fourth quarter to move to 2-0. Impressive wins. They handled Mainland in the opener down in Delaware. Marvin Burrows goes 7-17, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyrie Barksdale, 12 carries, 141 yards, and a touchdown. He also had an interception.
Real deal.
Atlantic City, a big test this week. But as we've seen the last 2 weeks, they were ready for big tests right from the beginning of the season. Congratulations, Coach Keenan Wright. I know he won't take any congratulations now because the season is so young and there's more to focus on. But excellent start for your Vikings.
Right. This is where the coaches say, don't listen to the ball guy and the guy, the old man yapping with the gray hair about.
Yeah, don't listen to those
guys.
Those guys are idiots.
They're going to tell you how good you're playing, Atlantic City, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
The bulletin board. Don't do it, fellas. Keep the head down. Just keep showing up.
That's why they do push-ups after every game on the goal line, win or lose. They know how to remain locked in. Cedar Creek 42, Absegami 0. Amir Dunmar, one of the best backs in South Jersey, 14 carries, 140 and 3 touchdowns. Jameer Campfield, 2 receiving touchdowns, and he had a safety on defense. ACIT 20, Vineland 19, Xavier Pagan, kick return touchdown for the Red Hawks. Glassboro 52, Haddon Heights 0. We may see some more scores like this from Glassboro this year. One of the best Group 1, probably the favorite to win Group 1 in the state, and one of the better teams in South Jersey.
They had a couple guys, too.
They got a couple guys. I think, we could do a profile on every guy through the season. I think we would not run out of profiles. No. We'd run out of shows.
Right, we've talked. That's the team that shows up off the bus that you think, and people are like Group 1. They're not. You're like, what? Are they a 3 or a possible 4? Now they're Group 1.
Jack O'Connell, quarterback. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of the
But
a lot of the pub, but he does an excellent job. He went 11-19 for 218 and 3 touchdowns through the air.
They only got one football.
That's right.
They only got one football.
But who handles the football in every play?
Well,
Jack O'Connell.
Jack does.
That's right. Amari Sabb, a rush touchdown and receiving touchdown. Makai Parker, 2 receiving touchdowns for the Bulldogs. They moved to 2-0. Holy Spirit 34-13. They get their first win of the season after a showing that wasn't up to snuff for them in the Battle of the Beach. Ty Costabile, 10 for 21, 139 yards and a touchdown. Amir Hicks runs for a hat trick of touchdowns for the Spartans. St. Joe Hamilton beats EHT 27-13 on the strength of Anthony Salamone's leadership, 1 pass touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Gloucester 28, Lower Cape May 7, Kevin Bolden, pass touchdown, rush touchdown. Will Rogers runs one in as well. Mainland bounces back from that that opener loss against Atlantic City with a 42-7 win at Hamilton. Jake Blum catches a touchdown, runs for a touchdown, runs an interception in for a touchdown. That's That's a good night's work.
Yeah, it's well done.
One of South Jersey's best players also in Jake Blum. Burlington City 20, Bordentown 14, another big stat line, Dante Davis. 22 carries, 206 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Delsey beats Woodstown 35-7. Gebhardt, I don't know how to pronounce this. I want to make sure I get this right, but Melee, maybe? I don't know. Somebody let me know what the pronunciation is. I think we'll be announcing it a lot
Could it
this
be
year.
Mile?
Could be. 9 carries, 143, 2 touchdowns. Nasir Hart, 5 carries, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. You were here for this one, Mac. Shawnee, 24, Williamstown, 21, Cole Anderson, 24 carries, 148, and a touchdown.
I was, yeah. Look, Shawnee went up early, and then Williamstown fought back, and they were up 21-17 late in the game, late third quarter. Shawnee's playing without Lundberg, who had 1,200 yards last year. Nursing, as they say, upper body injury.
Upper body injury.
So as the hockey guys talk about. So I believe he'll be back. I don't have a time frame on that, but it was impressive. Cole had some key carries in that. They went 70 yards there at the end of the I think 4 minutes left in the game when they scored. Went down the field and just I think he got half his yardage for the day on that drive alone. So Williamstown had their shots, and then Shawnee, after the tough loss in the opener out in Royersford, came back and got their first win of the year.
Big win for Shawnee. They're going to keep it on the ground. I mean, Cole, he can handle the heavy lift.
Look, he started last year as a freshman after the injury to Lucas Solomon. They got Lucas Solomon playing receiver now. They got a lot of skilled kids back, right, with Tyler Nichols and Jack Creaney. Joey Cleaver at linebacker. James Gilmartin had a heck of a game, a lot of tackles, and Parker Palouse filled in great, running the football for Brett Lundberg. And again, the offensive line, John Mosier, 2.5, 3 year starter with Duffy and Wall and Pinto. They passed the eye test up front. They're a good looking team size wise. They got a pretty good senior class. But they got some tough ones ahead of them. Camden High this Friday. At Farnham Park, we talked about. So it's gonna be a tough test for the Renegades, as they say.
Yeah, and not too far from Farnham Park is Paul VI. Well, Paul VI was the scene of a big clash in parochial football in South Jersey, and St. Augustine had their way, 26-0. Roman Coney, 15 carries, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Hermits, they look to be in full form. They won their opener out of state. I believe they were in Ohio. They come back. They play a team that really in PVI who's trying to get up to that spot to knock St. Aug off the top of the parochials down here, and they handled their business. Roman Coney, when he has the ball in his hands, is electrifying to watch, man.
Right. I mean, you controlling the football, not turning it over. I mean, that's huge. We talked about in the beginning of the show. I mean, I'll go back to the Shawnee game. Michael Bartasius makes an interception while Williamstown's driving again, and it seems innocuous, but you're like, how much a difference a turnover makes, especially on the high school level. Yeah. And when that pick did kind of turn that game there, because when you go back in the ifs and coulds and shoulds if you're other teams. So controlling the ball, playing sound football, back to Augie, that's what they do. I don't know the stat line of turnovers of Paul VI, but I'm sure Den Senior's looking at that saying, "God, we gotta, when we get it, you can't give it back. You got to control it, especially when you're playing a team that might be a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. I don't know about a little bit faster, but they got more right now at Augie."
A couple other scores here from Friday night. West Deptford takes care of Pennsville 42-7. Zamir Davis, 15 carries, 205, 3 touchdowns. Cole Paskowitz, one receiving touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. Heck of a player for the Eagles. Seneca 35, Morristown 0. Our guy Anthony Tirico throws for a touchdown, 6 carries, 123, 2 touchdowns. How about Brody Phillips for Seneca? 8 carries, 129, 2 scores. Haddonfield gets on the right track after a loss in the opener. They beat Woodbury 41-0. Van Lafakis, 8 of 10, 189, 3 touchdowns. And Jack McKeever catches a couple scores. Holy Cross, 25, Wildwood 6. Lawrence beats Maple Shade 26-6. Saturday, we have Bishop Eustace beats Palmyra 48-12. Delano Mann, 1 receiving touchdown, a pick 6, 2 punt returns for score, and a kick return for score. He is the man, pun very much intended. Delano Mann, heck of a weekend, man. I mean, if you had him in fantasy football, you were in good shape.
2 punt returns and a kickoff. 3 kick returns.
4 knots. He had 4 knots in a game.
Well, I see the return. The pick 6. Yeah, but at one point, they stopped kicking at the guy.
Right? So.
We used to tell our guy, look, you see that guy back there that runs a 4.3? Well, probably a 4.5. Don't kick to him.
Don't kick to him.
If the field's 51 yards, so once it goes out of bounds, play's dead, right? Still same rules?
Yeah.
I'm getting older, but you're allowed to kick out of bounds on punts.
I once heard a coach say, I told the punter, I don't care if you face the sideline directly to the side and punt it out of bounds for a 15-yard loss. Do not kick it in the field of play.
And you know what? You can practice. Put the trash can 35 yards down there, put it on the sidelines, and tell the punter to put the ball in the trash can. Right?
It's all fun and games till you got to do it.
Right. Lil did it all the time with our kickers. We would be like, stop and practice, being guys. Okay. And then, the kids get their egos up. Coach, we can tackle him. I'm like, nah.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. I just don't want to see it.
Deptford beats Pensgrove 27-6 on Saturday. Big game for Caden Roan, receiving touchdown to rushing touchdown. Northern Burlington shuts out Pemberton 35-0. Brent Wallach, 2 pass touchdowns and 2 rush touchdowns. East Side beats Willingboro 14-7. Naeem Dale, good day for him and the Tigers. They played this one at Farnham Park. 9-12, 169 yards and a touchdown and rushing touchdown. Newman Goretti beats Camden Catholic 12-8.
I was there.
You were there.
That's another new team I'm rooting for. Not new team. I'm
Marty, friend of the program.
Coach John Martino, friend of the program, was my offensive coordinator at Lenape and Holy Cross and Bishop Eustace. He's taken over there. It was a tough loss on Saturday. You got a lot of young kids playing. But you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. That's how programs are built. Young kids gotta take their teeth. Take the lumps, cut their teeth.
Steiner beats Cherry Hill West 17-13. Morris Catholic 49, Gloucester Catholic 0. And this program would like to send a big congratulations out to one Glenn Howard. Paulsboro beat Audubon 28-14 on Saturday, and Malachi McKenzie had a great game. 14-16, 176 yards passing, and a touchdown. He ran for another. But the story here really across South Jersey was that the stadium was named for Glenn Howard, one of the greatest coaches and one of the nicest, most humble men I've ever met.
One of the greatest players.
Yep.
Greatest coaches. Great person. I thought they were going to name the field after him while he was still coaching.
He wouldn't have let him. That's what you know, right?
Yeah.
With Glenn, he probably wasn't even too keen on the idea of this in the first place. But
he's done an unbelievable job. And the Paulsboro travels to Camden Catholic this Friday night.
I'll tell you what, man. When I think of a football coach in my head, a high school football coach, check the boxes of leadership, fundamentals, strategy, winning with class,
execution, everything.
Nobody having a bad word to say about. I mean, you go down the list. I think a lot of what you seek in a high school football coach looks a lot like Glenn Howard. Do you agree with that?
Oh, that's why he won a million games.
And you get away from it and you say, okay, it really is so much more difficult than Glenn made it look.
Oh, yeah.
You always knew no matter what happened with Paulsboro, and they had some great teams with some great players, and they will have great teams with other great players. But they were going to be in the game no matter who they played. At the end of the game, with a chance to win, somehow, some way, it didn't matter if they played poorly in the first quarter, second quarter, penalties, turnovers, whatever, they were going to be there, and somehow they would be. So that's a testament. You get away from it now, and you're like, well, I think we know what the common denominator was.
I mean,
right?
As we talk Mount Rushmore coaching in South Jersey, Glenn, I think, is definitely – I mean, there's been a lot of good ones, but Glenn is definitely up there.
Yeah.
If not the best. They just, like, to your point, everything they do, the class starts from the beginning. He's A1 top guy, and then how the execution he puts on the field and how the teams are prepared, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you weren't leaving Thursday night not ready for the game, or Friday for a Saturday game with Paul if you were playing for Paulsboro. You didn't go home thinking, you think, what are we going to do with this situation?
Right.
No, there was no.
Everything, all the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted.
Correct.
So congratulations, Coach Howard, and thank you, Paulsboro, for doing that for Coach. Now, Chris Baker asked in the Facebook chat, did we do Knot of the Week yet? No, we didn't, Chris, but thank you for seeking all these Knots of the Week. We are pleased also to announce we have a sponsor this season for Knots of the Week, I think. So, Rod, let's take it. Let's go. Location, location, location. There's no better location than the football field, but for all your other real estate needs, call Ashley Franchini. Do not make a mistake when you're looking for real estate, folks. Reach out to Ashley at 609-233-6116 or at franchinirealestate.com. Thank you, Ashley, for sponsoring the Knots of the Week. Let's start out here. Terrence Goffney of Collingswood against Overbrook. 89 yards. I know we thought, well, this kind of looks like a U in the middle of the field. It's not the U. This is Overbrook O. Look at Goffney gets around the corner, man. When he gets going, he is gone. He helps the Panthers move to 2-0. They have a big test this weekend. We'll get to that in a second. Terry Cook, someone mentioned this young man to me a couple years ago, and look at this. He takes a pass for Eastern, pick six, jumps in front of that thing, 77-yard interception return. Huge effort for him in the defense. They forced the fumble in overtime as they beat Ocean City. David Pearson of Defford. You talk about a pick six. I think he read this one all the way against Penn Scrub. Boom, there he gets it. He's taking it in. Got the daylight. Good video there. Excellent job. David, touchdown. Washington Township, Andrew Osborne strips that thing out. Ethan Wechter dives on in the end zone. There's another Knot of the Week. And last but not least, Riverside's Terrence Barnes, man. Well, we got a little celebration here. Look at this. His fourth touchdown in the game. I said earlier, touchdown catch, 2 touchdown runs, and this 68-yard return. I mean, this is right up close. And once he gets to that point against the Flashes, Riverside wins 50-0.
Did he give a look back?
He may have given a look
Did
back.
he look back, Rod?
That's the guy I know. That's T-Bird, man. He's a good player.
Thank you
Really
again to Ashley Franchini,
Tell me
609-233-6116 or franchinirealestate.com for any of your real estate needs down the shore. Thank you, Ashley. There was your Knots of the Week.
Rod, tell him, you get the look back, but you get a little higher and tighter. A little bit. A little bit. I mean, I know he was flying.
On the fourth touchdown, I think he earned some, what would you call that, artistic.
Listen, he looked back at the camera. I think he knew he was going at that point.
Well, I think everybody knew he was going. It's
Yeah.
just a little tight, high and tight. That's it.
Yeah.
He was flying.
Yeah, he definitely was
He
flying.
might have winked, too.
Yeah. I thought I was looking to see if he did wink, Mac, but he just ran by the camera so fast I couldn't tell. I'm going to slow that one down. We might have to do a Zapruder film of the Knot of the Week. All right, we got a weekend preview coming up. We're going to get you set for all the big action in South Jersey. So stay tuned to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. We'll be back right after this.
Phone died. Yes. Okay. I think RV, but it's 6-1.
Football Frenzy Show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, the West Jersey Football Coaches Association. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports, event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety, injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations, American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone's here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com. Welcome back, football fans, to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. We're going to talk about the action we got coming up this week, and we're going to talk about our best 11 rankings, the first ones of the season. Here we are, settled in nicely. Got broken a little bit of a sweat. I don't know about you. I've broken a little bit of a sweat.
On our show or in the season?
Yeah, just in general, Mac. I think
A lather going?
bright lights are on.
Really?
Can't you see it shine off my dome?
Okay.
There's a lot of good action in South Jersey this week. Some we're used to with the West Jersey Football League and the scheduling and the power programs playing each other. But we've got some other games that I think may not be in those top conferences or divisions that are also worth watching. Got some interesting tilts. Let's start on Thursday night at 6 p.m. West Effort at Collingswood. Both teams are 2-0, old Colonial Conference foes. You got Zamir Davis, Cole Paskowitz on the side of West Effort. They've rolled to a couple wins early on against, I believe they played Pennsville last week. Kip Cooper Norcross in the opener, they rolled past them as well. Collingswood, also 2-0, beat Clayton, beat Overbrook. We saw the touchdown return. Caden Luby, great play for the Panthers. Should be an interesting one, Mac, in terms of Thursday night football, man. 6 p.m., two teams that, they want to run the ball. They want to get things going. And I'll say this, too, about Collingswood. I mean, you got former Highland coach Brian Leary now calling the offense over at Collingswood.
Yes,
and he's certainly changed some things around there.
Isn't John Small dabbing over there, too?
Yeah, he's calling the defense. So, reunited. The Tartan boys back up at Collingswood, and you can see the difference in terms of the program right now.
They got some old school.
Yeah.
Right? You know, Coach Small's going to get them lined up. They're going to play good defense, sound, and Coach Leary is going to do the right things on offense. Not that they weren't already, but you know, being a play caller and offensive coordinator, it does take. Everybody wants some of the pizzazz. It's not so much always that the touchdown call. It was the 40 calls throughout the game that you put yourself in a better spot, or the punt that you did do that you didn't. You don't want to take any reckless chances. So this will be fun to watch, right? You said 2 Colonial Conference teams, old school.
I think the other thing here, Mac, is that you got 2 teams that really, Group 2. When you look at West Defford, they're a team that expect to really compete for that Group 2 final in South Jersey this year.
No doubt, yeah. And Collingswood is each year over the last couple of years, is we've been talking about, are we in a spot where we can we make the step? Can we get to, some situations, we got some talent here, we're missing a guy or two,
yeah.
and now I think things look like they're gelling a little bit. And again, it's nice to be home in these spots. It's a Thursday night, only game in town. I shouldn't say the only game in town, but one of the few.
Yeah.
And so. And then West Defford's trying to get back to where they feel they should be every year.
Yeah, and I think they have a really good team this year. I think they expect they should be in the mix, like I said, for the Group 2 final in South Jersey or Central Jersey, however that pans out. But Coach Emmel feels good about his team. So that'll be an interesting 6 p.m. Thursday night, West Defford at Collingswood. Friday, we talked about this, Shawnee at Camden, 6 p.m. Camden's second home test in as many weeks after they won their first game out in Martinsburg, West Virginia. With a shutout win. I liked what I saw from them, especially the Mohammeds, Halim, it's Wasi, and Ibn, all 3 great players. I like Christian Braxton in the backfield. Duckett had a nice long touchdown run for the Panthers as well. You know what you're going to get from Shawnee in terms of discipline. You're going to come in, they're going to run the ball. You got Cole running the ball, and like you said, had some guys dinged up at different positions here. Again, what does the conditioning look like for Camden this week? Because Coach Hinson, with all 150 of his career wins, he made sure after that game, talking to the media, that conditioning is not going to be a problem next week. I'm going to make sure of that. So I think that really hurt him last week. Braxton's in and out of the game. He's got some cramps, and being one of the bell cow backs in South Jersey, that was something that wasn't great to see.
Again, I don't know. And then the hard part is, how are you conditioning them this week? What do you can't overly work them in the week. I mean, maybe, okay.
I don't know.
Either.
That's what I say. I say maybe.
Maybe. All right.
That's kind of tough. I mean, I think it's more so, I don't know if because I'm seeing it a lot. So I'm not this is not specifically for Camden. I'm just saying
we said
what we see around. And even,
they're handcuffed. Their hands, like, Bobby can't have practice like he had even 5 years ago.
Right.
Even 10. I told my first year at Bishop Eustace, the first week of practice, we practiced all 7 days because we had mass. We had mass on that Sunday before practice, and we had days of doubles and triples. I mean, we had 14, and we had 4 days of. We had 18 practices in a week.
Right.
And
true.
And a lot of them were full gear. I mean, we were banging. There weren't the stipulations, and I'm not saying.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is just not specifically for the sports. Like, I joke about this, but when I was 6 years old, I would go outside at 7, 8 in the morning and wouldn't come back until the sun goes down. Right.
Right.
Now our kids aren't doing that.
No, they're in air conditioning.
Right. So when
they're not in the sun,
the kids are not playing outside as much as they used to. So their bodies aren't just they're not like what the old bodies.
Well, here's
right?
my question.
Right, the acclimatization.
That's all
we
I'm
walked up to school, both ways,
Right.
the whole bit, the snow, the whole jokes. But every generation,
it changes.
It definitely changes, right? I mean, back, my dad will tell me there was no off season. My kids were working at the mill or whatever. And that was their conditioning.
Right.
So it's kind of like, but you're right. Kids aren't out all day in the summer like they used to be. And then
running around. Yep.
This heat punches you in the face. So I don't doubt that Coach Hinson's going to work it to get to what he feels they need to be. It's going to be a question of, how that takes.
Yeah, how much do you put on them if they're already not conditioned, with the day of hamstrings and soft tissue injuries and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of play it by.
Well, I would say this: if you're a main star player for a team, fair or not, and you're a little dinged or you're cramping up, you do as much good to me if you're a little dinged than if you're not suited up. For to a degree, right? Like, you're gonna be the man. Be ready. And if you weren't ready last week, I don't know what it's going to take to get you ready this week, or if that's possible, but that's what you're going to have to do, or else there's another man who's going to take your spot.
Oh yeah, there's someone. The next man up is definitely, and someone's, whether it be taking care, the kids taking care of their bodies the night before. The kids used to joke, and I used to say that. We used to say to kids, the most important night of sleep before a Friday night game was Wednesday night.
Yeah.
We've all in college had to pull all-nighters, and that next day you could make it, but then you crashed it, being tired the next day.
Yeah.
And so you need to sleep, you need to take care of your bodies, you need to hydrate, all the plus. And then we talked about in the beginning of the show, the way practice is designed, the way the practices aren't designed, they're not allowed to do all
certain things. Yeah.
I'm not the 80-year-old guy barking, yelling at the sky, but I'm also not, the 30-year-old guy either.
Here's what I'm saying. If we're skill training all year round, which our top football players are, let's mix in some bleacher runs.
Well,
let's mix in some sprinting in the heat.
Well, to your point.
Let's mix that stuff in, because that stuff matters too.
Well, this is what, if I'm Coach Hinson nowadays, or Coach Belton, or Coach anywhere, Martino, or Coach Gusher, I'm like, guys, you do the old, how many guys want to play college football? They raise their hand. Okay. How many guys are running on your own? And if you're not doing this stuff on your own, who's watching Hard Knocks, right? Me and Tommy are watching Hard Knocks today. What's his name? Trevion Green, or what? Trevion Green, the D-back. He's running hills after practice.
Yeah.
Tommy looks at me and goes, don't you think his agent might be like, what? Like in the woods hills?
Yeah.
My point is, that's an NFL player who's already got a job. Like, what are these kids doing on their own, knowing that, they can't just go, you don't want them going to tackle each other with helmets on, but to your point, some bleachers. And
out in the parking lot, man.
And you can't do it tonight for Friday. It's got to be done
right
March, April, May.
Yeah.
All right.
Or doing it playing another sport, whether that be track or lacrosse, etc.
So that's Shawnee at Camden, 6 p.m. The Mac, you'll be there, right? So you'll.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So you'll let us know how many. Do the cramp counter.
Well, I'll have my you'll lend me a notepad, and I can.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And let me. This is the last thing I want to say about that.
Yeah.
When we watched East St. Louis, Bergen, Winslow, IMG.
Yep.
Right. I think what happens is for I'll just speak for Camden. Their first game, they were okay. Right. They didn't have to push through anything for that game. They kind of coasted through that game. They controlled that game from the beginning. This past game, they had to do a little bit more. They have to, pick it up a little bit.
Pull from something.
Right. So that jump up in, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but as far as playing harder.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole physiology, the whole neurology of it. Your body's putting a ton of work in.
They had to play harder. We watched that Winslow game versus IMG, and how when Winslow was doing good all the way until about like late in the third quarter, and it was like I'm not even going to say that because of what just happened, but
yeah, they ran out.
They just ran out of gas.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? They started cramping up. Guys going down left and right because they're pushing past what they're normally playing at, and that could be a case of it too, more so than the conditioning aspect. It's just one of those things, but
it's getting used to putting your body to the brink.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do because we used to tell our kids it's hard to practice to the game
speed.
Speed. And we used to tell the kids, look, if we, there's full speed, then there's game speed, and you can. And as I used to tell the kids, the closer we can replicate, game speed in practice, the better we're going to be. I mean, I actually got to a point sometimes, like on a Wednesday, I'd say, guys, let's treat it. Let's tape like we would tape a game. If you wear your towel a certain way in the game, but you don't wear it at practice normally, or that special pair of gloves or cleats, bring them out on Wednesday. Let's go. Let's try to get a jump going. Let's any way to, let's go best on best for 5 minutes, right? Or 10 minutes. Let's go best on best. We'll put it down at the 10-yard line.
Competition.
You got to compete in every drill, but let's play football for 10 minutes. Real football, like scoring touchdowns, getting to there's a winner, there's a loser. We used to call it best of the rest. We took our first offense, and if you weren't on the first offense, kids were chomping at the bit to get on the other side to stop our first offense. And if you weren't chomping on the bit, I looked on the side. I knew the kids that didn't want to play. We'd only have 14 kids that jump out there on the best of the rest. And
right.
I tell 3, hey, take a seat. We're going to go best on best right here. And that's how you kind of crank it. But it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it definitely is.
You're whispering in a kid's ear, hey, that kid just said something about your brother, right? You're trying to invoke some anger because nothing's like Friday night.
I think what we've learned tonight, Rob, is that we got to bring back Mac's soapbox. We're bringing back Mac's soapbox this year.
Nobody wants to hear an old man.
No, I mean they just did.
Well, they can turn it. They can like this.
Hey, man, we've been having soft tissue conversations even before the show.
That's
so
right.
this is not nothing new for us.
That's right.
Now.
All right, Friday night, we got a couple other interesting games I want to get to here. Millville, Mainland, 6 p.m. Two teams that are not used to Mainland rebounded last week. Millville looked like they had rebounded against Atlantic City. They didn't finish the deal against the Vikings. They're 0-2. Both teams, it's at Mainland, 6 p.m. This is a game that, I can remember a couple years ago was the game. And right now, both of them are trying to make sure they get their sea legs under them. Cherokee at St. Augustine, 6 p.m. Two teams that are undefeated. Should be a lot of the ground game at the bowl. Should be some big guys up front moving guys around.
2 hour.
Classic Cherokee.
2-hour game.
Classic St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Congratulations also to Coach Pete Lancetta, who got in the South Jersey Hall of Fame at the Battle of the Beach. A couple other honorees, Mike Gatley, who was the AD at Hamilton and Mainland. You got Kevin Minnick, our buddy, the reporter.
Pete was already in it, wasn't he?
No. Mike Sheridan, who coached all over at West Effort, Haddon Township, Collingswood. Also played in the 1974 South Jersey Championship at Boardwalk Hall for Sterling when they beat Woodrow Wilson. You remember that?
Camden. Did they beat Camden? Was it Camden or Wilson?
I think they beat Wilson. Camden played in the other game.
Yeah, okay. Camden was big. Yeah.
Camden played in the other game against Brick.
Yes, correct.
Come on, Mac.
I
thought you've been around South Jersey.
I know.
Come on. It's not my job to be the historian here. Is it?
Don't get me started on that old story too. That's a good Vin Mac story for another day.
Mark pulled out. You got one job. One job.
You got one job. Talk about the 70s.
Are you kidding me?
I brought up the knit tie early on.
You bring up the knit tie, and then I got you in the long run, man.
Oh,
right.
I hear you.
Also,
Boardwalk Hall.
Huh?
I said Boardwalk Hall.
Yeah, Boardwalk Hall.
Classic stuff.
Haddonfield at Willingboro at 7 p.m. This is a Group 2 showdown. Two teams here. Haddonfield's 1-1. Willingboro's 1-1. They've been familiar with those areas in terms of the Group 2, kind of that field. Teams we expect to see in the playoffs, programs that every year are some of our better teams.
Another cool crossover game, no doubt. Frank Delano's been there now.
Long time.
Forever.
Yeah.
And, and you know what you're going to get, well prepared, well coached. And, Barrow, they got, it's at Barrow, and they want to make some waves. And, it doesn't have, let's say, playoff implications, but this could be an early foreshadow type game.
The last piece I want to mention, too, is for that Hall of Fame is Matt Schultz, longtime defensive coordinator, Cherokee, also coach of West Effort. Congratulations, Matt, on making the Hall of Fame as well. It's a good class this season.
A lot of good dudes. A lot of good coaches, good dudes, good players, all the above.
Washington Township and Delsey are unbeaten, and Washington Township is one of the better teams in the area. They are headed down to Delsey at 7 p.m. That should be a good one. And Cinnaminson and Delran, a rivalry clash, 7 p.m. on Friday night. RV at Eastside, both teams also unbeaten there, 1 p.m. On Saturday. Rod, is that going to be played at Eastside, not Farnham Park? Or I know Eastside's doing some things to the stadium there, or what's the deal, you know?
From what I understand, they should be ready to go for this week. Talking to the athletic director and things like that. They should be ready to go.
All right, TBD, but we're thinking maybe.
Yeah, new scoreboard.
I mean, new scoreboard at
New
Eastside.
sod, new grass.
I'll tell you, man, that's
New scoreboard.
New bleachers.
that's
key.
That
is key.
In the words of Bob Dylan, the times they are a changing. If there's a functioning scoreboard at Eastside, that's what AI can do. It can do anything if it can do that. Atlantic City at Cedar Creek, 1:30 on Saturday, Mac.
Are they going to keep the scoreboard on the same side it's been
Same
on?
place, right?
Same
spot?
Spot it's been. Yep. It's just new.
Okay.
Looks really nice too.
Good.
It's nice.
AC at Cedar Creek, 1:30. Cedar Creek, I saw in the opener, a little sluggish. Lost that game, Bow the Beach. Last week, bounced back, big win, right? A lot of star power.
Stay tuned. I kind of like what they're doing.
Yeah.
They got some guys.
They always got some guys. Here's how many guys they have. One of them is in the NFL and changed his position with 2 weeks left in training camp, and he's playing.
He's Travis Hunter.
Well, look, that goes on to the guys of the big man upstairs only makes so many professional athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Bo's like, yeah, I can play. I can
play
play corner.
I can play corner. I'll do that.
Isn't that unbelievable, dude? That's
Right.
awesome. That is awesome. Hats off to you, Bo.
Yeah.
And hats off to Max, your brother, Arizona. I think it's going to be a great game. For Atlantic City, you look at the schedule. This is huge. If they can go 3-0, they do have another tough test down the line here. But things are starting to look like a special season if you win this game at Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek, hey, look, they keep the momentum rolling. They're a team that's always in the mix. I know Coach Melody coaches them about as good as you get. They'll be there as well.
Yeah, I mean, a good docket of games. I mean, you Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Take your choice. Get to South Jersey football. Some barn burners possibly. Put some miles on the car, Trib.
Could put some miles on the car.
Bring some hats.
Yeah.
How many you going to?
I'm going to one game this week, Mac, and I'm going to tell you what game it is. Bergen Catholic at Winslow, 6 p.m.
I don't want to see you put a hat on someone from North Jersey.
I've already done it.
I know you have. It's uncomfortable.
And if Bergen Catholic wins, it will be the first team from North Jersey to have 2 hats.
I get it. I get how your hat thing works. I just don't want them to have it.
By the way, that Eastside game, somebody commented that they think it is at Farnham Park. So I don't know. Check with your local listings if you're going to the game on Saturday.
Old school.
Winslow, Bergen Catholic. We saw Bergen Catholic at Battle at the Beach when they beat East St. Louis in one of the games of the year. We saw Winslow hang with IMG at Battle at the Beach for much of 3 quarters there. This is a game that essentially is a showdown. Like you said earlier, Mac, you got public, you got parochial, you got South Jersey, you got North Jersey. The one thing I can guarantee you about this game is I think Bergen Catholic may worry that their bus broke down when they get off of it. This is where we're playing. They haven't played on grass in over a decade.
That's fantastic. And sometimes you think you grow it short, you grow it long, you grow it. But just being on grass when you're not used to being on grass, it's a little goofy. I will tell you this, when you look at this, I don't pound for pound, or let's say star for star. Winslow, I think star for star they can go with them. The concern is I feel like the Roman army show, just the off the bus. Mm-hmm. How many buses is Bergen bringing down?
Sure.
Now, you only can put 11 out there.
That's right.
But with as we talk about all,
you can put 10, but you're at a disadvantage.
You probably want to lean towards 11. My uncle used to try to sneak in 12 at JV games back in the day. He says, He said, Timmy, there's only 3 refs. They can't count that fast. But saying that, Bergen has, they got a lot of depth.
Yeah.
They got a lot of guys. Now, is it the right guys? Sometimes You know, we've seen a Millville team leave the locker room with 25 guys sometimes.
Yeah.
Or Mainland last year. You're like, you know, but is it the right guys? And Bergen's going to have enough, and is Winslow going to have the right?
Mhm.
And are they going to make the play when they need to make the play? In
think
this spot.
I kind of think they'll be fine if they just don't make the early mistakes. That was the two pick sixes were that was the difference in the game, and both of those were in the first quarter. So if they can eliminate the turnovers, things like that, they should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, but you can like.
Well, here's the thing, though, Mac. I will say this: Winslow can play up front. I mean, they've proven they can, right? And they've proven that, like, at the beginning of the season, before the season, people say, well, why would you play IMG and Bergen Catholic? I mean, what are you doing? Do you survive IMG? I mean, physically, these guys they're all going to the NFL eventually, right? The running back is 6'4".
Yeah, they're beasts.
If you can get through that, then you have a week. You play Highland, then you're playing Bergen Catholic. Why would you do that? Well, the first half of that game is exactly why you did it for IMG. Is your guys are running past IMG guys, and that's on a film somewhere. And you're saying, so your guy's going to Alabama. He can't cover my guy.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, okay, great exposure. You're right there. The other aspect of it too, and it'd be interesting to talk to Bill about this, and maybe you have Rod or you know you may be able to give some insight here. When you play IMG to open, and then you play Bergen, your kids are locked in this week, but they know they've already played a team that is that caliber.
Yeah, No, they're not going to be by any means intimidated.
And they weren't to begin with in the first game. But I'm saying now it's like, okay, let's run it. Let's run it back and we get this at home.
I mean, look, to use a baseball analogy, you win playoff games when your 8 hitters rolling.
Yeah, that's very true. It's a good point. Yeah,
you need, and is Winslow's 8th hitter ready to roll, right? And how. And they got to be. They better be. So let's go back to football. It's all 10, all 11, all 11 all the time. Punt, kickoff return, right? The two picks in the beginning. Well, that, you can't do stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's what I kind of like about Winslow's coaching staff, right? Their guys, all of them have played at the Division I level. All of them have had success in high school. So they understand those two. Then when you put them in a position where they're trying to get games like this to be the norm for their program. So that first game was a lot of data taken in. You got to be able to recycle through some of your linemen to get them spot plays here and there. You got to steal plays out of your best guys to give them a break. If you know you're running certain, they were taking in a lot. And that's what I did notice about them. After the game, it was like, you can see all of the information just going off in their brains of how they could have did things different and things like that. So
right. I mean, I'm curious. I'm sure Bergen will come down with 5 starting O linemen and 4 starting D linemen. Right. I'm not sure, but Winslow. I don't know how many they got going both ways on the O and D line.
Not many.
Not many.
not many.
Right. So I mean, again, you get to that part of the world is that's in the trenches, and you work out from there. And we know the skilled kids will play. To your point, Rod, can you steal a play? Right? Do you be careful who's running a clearing route? Right? Like on Hard Knocks, the Joe Brady route, as Joe Brady calls it. You're not getting the ball here. You're running the Joe Brady route. Just clear the damn thing.
I will say it's funny too because. I want to make sure I say this before I forget. When you said earlier, you play with 11. I said, well, you play with 10. Well, in the season opener, in one of the best games we've seen in that East St. Louis Bergen game, I want to make sure my guy got the hat. I believe it was Jordan Thomas, okay? Headed to Rob's.
OH.
Yeah, Ohio State, right?
Ohio.
breaks up the pass on 3rd down and then blocks the punt on 4th down that Bergen Catholic runs in for a touchdown. They go for 2. They get it. They win the game by 1. He blocked a punt against one of the best teams in the country, right? East St. Louis also. Bergen has 9 on the field for that. So when you got a guy who's coming off the edge from Ohio State, sometimes you don't even need 10. Sometimes 9's okay, Mac.
Right. Because you know what? They couldn't block him.
Yeah.
Also, great kid.
He's a dude.
He was really cool about the hat thing. He was very excited about it. That's a cool part of Battle of the Beach, too, is getting some of these other teams involved. And it's like,
if you have a true wrecker,
like
a true wrecker, I always think, I mean, this guy, because I loved him in college, like you go back to a Derrick Henry in high school. Like, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that dude? Like,
not fair.
It's not fair. So you got to, we're gonna see a lot of wreckers on the field, and the wreckers got to cancel each other out, right? And then we go back to that 8th hitter.
The good thing about Winslow too, though, Rod, is every play on offense, Jalen Parker's touching the ball.
Yeah,
and he's
smooth.
He's smooth, but he's special.
Yeah,
and look. He has that knack. If you remember 4th and 10 or 4th and 13 or whatever it was when he scored touchdown somersault, and I don't think it was 4th and goal. May have been. But he has that knack of he just knows the right moment to run. He's not a runner, but when he runs, it's always effective, and he knows when to do it. And it's always at that moment that's just
he's a heartbreaker.
The defense is like, ah.
You know something? We had him on the show last night, and one of my questions was, what does his offseason look like as he's training to be a quarterback? And what he said was, I don't train to be a quarterback. I train to be an athlete.
Yeah.
I just play quarterback. So, like, in those moments, it's be an athlete.
He's not the guy who is an athlete that's playing quarterback who knows first sign of trouble, I can run and get out of this.
No.
He knows, okay, progression. This feels right. I know the heat's coming.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here's my opportunity. It's going to be a heck of a game, I think.
And when it's the it factor, whatever. When you watch a game and you can tell that game in his head. He's like sitting on his couch playing Madden. It just is happening so much slower for him because he can process things so well. And that, to your point, is him taking it, tucking it, getting 11, 12, moving the sticks, making the play.
If you're going to the game, it's at 6 p.m., I'm pretty sure, right? Get there early, get there often. There's going to be a lot of folks there. I know there's going to be some grilling in the parking lot. What do you got?
Got information in about the Eastside game. For the next 2 weeks, the games will be at Camden High School.
All right. So they'll just treat it like Turkey Day, man. It's a short commute.
They're at Farnham, right?
So anyway, looking forward to that game. Always a pleasure to watch Bergen Catholic. They are the cream of the crop for a reason every year in New Jersey. And Winslow will give it their best shot. We'll see what happens Friday night. That will be the game of the week. Best 11 rankings, we'll get into it here real quick. We're going to count them down from 11. These are our first rankings of the year.
You act like that's original. That's how we do it, right?
That's how we do it. I'm just reminding everybody. At number 11, we have the Mainland Mustangs. Dropped the season opener in Atlantic City, bounced back last week. They have a big one with Millville this week. At 10, we have Kingsway. Kingsway, again, like what I saw from them at Farnham Park, really had the game, it felt like, in their grasp after coming back and taking the lead. A late turnover put Camden High back in charge, but an excellent game from the Dragons. So Kingsway at number 10.
Seneca knocking on the door to get in.
Seneca's in there.
But
you look at Paul, the Sixes around there. We got some other teams. I'm sure you string together a couple wins with the schedule they have. Millville would be in that mix.
No doubt.
You got Burlington Township at number 9. There's nothing to shake a stick at when you look at their resume. I mean, they've won 40-6 and 40-7 in 2 games. Burlington Township at number 9. At 8, we have Cherokee. They welcome St. Augustine into the bowl on Friday night at 6 p.m. You got Camden at number 7. I saw Camden last week. I like a lot of what I saw. I think they got some things they can tune up and lock in and clean up and all that good stuff.
They'll be better.
Yeah, penalties, cramping, all that stuff. Coach Hinson had a lot of teaching points out of that game. They won that opener, like Rod alluded to earlier, They won in a breeze in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Country Roads brought them back home, Farnham Park. They took care of business. But a big one was Shawnee this week. At number 6, I think we got to give the tip of the cap and raise that thing to Atlantic City for what they've done so far this season and beat Mainland and Millville. They're at Cedar Creek on Saturday afternoon at 1:30. Glassboro, number 5, defending Group 1 state champs, beat Haddonfield in the opener, crushed Haddon Heights last week. A team that, when you look at their schedule, we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be some lopsided numbers on the way of Glassboro this season. At number 4, Washington Township, big test this week against Delsey. They ran past Pensauken last week, 41-0. They had one of our knots of the week. If you missed that, go back and take a look. Osborne, Wechter, making it happen. The Minutemen at number 4. A team they will be neck and neck with all season in terms of how we view Group 5 in South Jersey, and the teams will match up in the regular season. I can pretty much, I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be our game of the week when it happens. When Washington Township faces our number 3 team in Rancocas Valley. Savion Adams, one of the best playmakers. We talked about Bellamy in the backfield. And then Beasley and Ogunsola, 2 just incredible defensive players. You got Rancocas Valley at number 3. They got past Pleasantville last week after rolling past Millville in the opener at the Bow of the Beach. Number 2, St. Augustine. They won in Ohio handily. They won at Paul VI handily. And again, they play the Chiefs of Cherokee this weekend. We'll see what the Hermits have in that one. Roman Coney, the guy to watch. When it's balls in his hands, something special can happen. And number 1, Winslow. I don't think there's any debate about that right now. We will see them in the game of the week against Bergen Catholic on Friday night at Winslow. I want to give a big thanks on a couple of different levels here, Mac. First off, we got new sponsors this year. Some of them are new. Some of them are old. The old ones, we love you. We still love you. The new ones, we love you too. Thank you so much, because without you, the show wouldn't happen. Of course, Sully at South Jersey Glory Days, thank you. To all the folks who checked in about the show and asked if it was happening and talked about how much they loved it, I mean, that meant the world to me, so thank you so much. It really is a labor of love and something we can't get enough of it when it comes around, right?
Did they ask you if the old co-host was coming back with you?
I've gotten requests for you for speaking engagements, for golf lessons, for insurance, all different types of things. And in fact, some people even said, I can't wait to see Coach Mack back.
Rod, he wasn't he was trying to negotiate with me, not my agent. You know how that goes. That doesn't go well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who my agent is too.
I do. Ironically enough, all the people who asked me if Coach Mack is coming back, they all have Pensauken letter jackets on. So it's funny how that works. And then, of course, Rod, self and his company, D2 Sports Network, the man behind the glass that gets it all done here in beautiful Studio B. If you need a studio, if you need a show, if you need a podcast, reach out to Rod. Come to Studio B. He will get it done. Photo shoot, any of that stuff, he's got you covered. And be sure, again, to watch Kevin Emmons and Chris Baker on D2 Sports Network Tuesdays at 8. By the numbers. Great show, informative, gets things going here. So thank you, as always, to everybody who watched. We'll be back here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. And I'll tell you this, Mac, we'll be here the next Wednesday, 7 p.m. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one on until state championships are over.
This guy, one play at a time. Just one play at a time.
I'm looking big picture.
Let's go first down. Let's get 4 yards.
I'm looking macro.
Let's get 5 yards.
I'm looking macro.
All right, let's get 5 yards.
All right, everybody. Terrence Goffney did send his video. Terrence Goffney's video was in this show. If you missed the Knots of the Week, there were 5 of them. Ashley Franchini sponsored them this year. Go back and watch because they were good.
We got to cut it more. I mean, if we're going to
I think if we keep getting 5 a week, which coaches, we're glad you're sending them, then I think we count them down.
Yeah, we got to give it not of the week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a trophy for all here.
It's not a trophy for all. We're going to hit the sleds to figure that out.
That's not fun. Sleds are not fun.
No. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here next week. Have a safe weekend. Get out and watch some football. It's not quite sweater weather, even though Max got one on. But
this is a light, thin pullover.
Yeah, it's a quarter zip. We're getting closer, so stay tuned. We're glad football season's here. Thanks for watching the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show.
Go Phils.
Go Phils.